Good day. This is Mr. Stolle from Emerald Private Trust, as you can see there. Now, today we are looking at algebra, and this is the topic that you as a student must understand very well, because it's actually the basics that you need to understand, because you apply algebra in everything, in all the problems that we do, like in maths. Okay, so I'm going to start with the the concept of plus minus. Now, when you are adding minus, when you're adding, let's say you are saying minus 1 minus 1, what you're actually doing, you are going to the negative side. So you are adding the 2, but you still have your negative. So it's going to be minus 2. When you are dividing, let's say you are dividing with negative. When you are saying negative 1 divided by negative 1, your negative cancels and it gives you a positive 1. When you are multiplying negative 1 times negative 1, you get a positive 1. So your negative cancels. But now, when we have a negative 1 divided by a positive 1, what we have here is that is negative 1. We get a negative 1. So actually, if we can say in terms of power, your negative have got more power compared to your, to your positive. Then if you are to multiply negative 1 times negative 1, you get, times a positive 1, sorry about that, times a positive 1, you will get a negative 1 as well. You will get a negative 1. That's what we're saying here. So you must know that your negative gives you positive. Your positive gives you negative, just like that. So here, let's just look at the questions here. Now, when we have negative, yes, plus 8, negative plus, then you know that it's negative. That is gonna win here. Then it's gonna be plus 8 minus 10. So it's actually 8 minus 10. Then 8 minus 10, because 8 is smaller than 10, we are going to get negative 2. Then when we are looking at this negative 17, negative times negative, your bracket means it's actually your times, you're multiplying. So this bracket means what we call multiplying. Okay, so what we are saying here is that minus 19 plus minus 19 plus 7. Then what do we get? We get minus 19 plus 7. We are adding 7, meaning to say we are coming back. And if we are to have this, we're going to get negative 12. Then if we are to have plus minus, we know what happens when we have plus minus. 6 minus 2, what do we have? We have 4. Okay, then again here, when we are multiplying, minus 4 times negative 3. Now what we have here is that we are having we are multiplying minus times minus, all right, times 4 times minus 3. We are going, it's more like we are saying minus times minus. What do we get? We get your minus and minus cancel. So it's more like we are saying 4 times 3, because we are saying the negative cancels and we get our answer is 12. That's what we are saying here. Then what about here when we are saying minus 40 divided by 5? So it's more like we are saying minus 40 divided by minus 5. Your minus cancels and we get a positive of what? 40 divided by 5, we get 8. Do we get 8? Then when we have got minus, it's going to be 2 here divided by negative 4. what do we have here? We're going to have 2 into 4. We have 2. So your answer here is going to be minus 1 over 2 because we have a negative only 1 here. Then we go down here. We have got 3x squared. Now we're evaluating now. We want to learn to substitute. We are given x is equals to negative 3, y is equals to 2, z is equals to negative 2. So you need to learn how to substitute in your expression. So if we are to figure that 3x squared, so it means that it's 3 times the negative 3, which we are squaring, plus 3. Then here, when we say 3 times negative 3, we get 9. We get negative 9, because remember negative and the positive, we get a negative 9 squared plus 3. Now, negative 9 squared, it gives us 81. 81 plus 3, we get 84. That's what we get here, okay? Then when we have got 3x squared plus 3, here we are saying is 3 in bracket, negative 3 squared plus 3. Can you see the difference here that we're having here? Now, when we have this, and we're going to say 3 times 9, negative 3 squared is going to give us 9 plus 3, then it's going to be 27 plus 3, which is going to give us 30. That's what we get there. Then x squared over y. What is our x squared? Negative 3 squared over what is y? Is 2. Then what are we going to get? It's going to be 9 over 2. Okay, that's our answer. Then we move on to the next one. Is saying 2x squared y minus z. Now we're going to write it as it is. 2x squared is negative 3 squared. So don't forget to put brackets. Don't forget to put brackets, because now when you have a negative, some of you might write like here, we're just gonna write 3 times negative 3 squared. In this case now, what we're going to have, you're just having what is it? Negative. Your negative, you'll keep having negative here, because you're going to have 9 here, negative 9. Then negative 9 is going to give you negative 27. This is totally wrong. That's what's going to happen here. So you must always carry the bracket. Carry the bracket when when you're working with the negative. Now, then in the bracket, what do we have? Y is 2. What about z? Minus 2. So where there is a negative, please don't forget to put the bracket. Then what are we going to have here outside here? 2 times 3 squared 9 is going to give us 18 in the bracket. 2 plus 2, because we have negative times negative, we're going to have 4. Now 18 times 4, what do we get? Get 72. That's our answer there. Okay, you must also underline your answer to show that that's where you have what we ended. Now let's move on to another part of algebra. Now, when you are given such what we call questions like here to simplify, you are simplifying. You are going to use what we call collect like terms. So in this case here, we have got 3x, then plus 4y plus 7. We are going to add them. Then we get 11y. Then our solution ends here. It ends here. The problem ends here because we can't add what called gods and kettles. Okay, you can't do that. So you're gonna leave it like this. Then what we have here again is that we have to collect like terms here. 4 over x plus 1 over x minus 7 over y plus 2 over y. Then what do we get here? 4 over x, because we have got the same base here, we don't need to worry. We're just going to deal with what we have on top here. It's going to be 4 plus 1. What do we get? It's going to get 5 over x. Then what is it that we have down here? Negative. Now, with this negative, we're going to deal with the on top, negative 7 plus 2, we get negative 5, negative 5 over y. Okay, but you can just leave it like this, it's still fine. Then we move on to this, what we call last part here. We are saying x cubed plus 7x squared. So these two are like terms. These two are like terms. Then we're going to say x cubed minus 2x cubed plus 7x squared. Then x cubed minus is going to give us minus x cubed plus 7x squared. We can't go further than this because of different powers. So we treat them as different in this case. Okay. Now let's move on. We are given that 5x. Now we have a bracket now that we need to deal with. We have a bracket now. Now when you have a bracket, make sure that your number that outside the bracket multiplies all the numbers inside what we call all the variables inside the bracket. Then it's going to be 5x plus 7x, 7 times -1, -7. Then what do we get there? We get 5x plus 7x. We are going to add the 2. We're going to get 12x minus 7. Then that's our answer there. Then let's move on to this one. We are saying, remember, we multiply everything inside the bracket. It's going to be 3x times x. We get 3x squared. Now, 3x times 4, we get plus, we're going to multiply the numbers here, 12x. Then minus x times x, we get x squared. Now, negative x times -2, we're going to get a positive. Can you see this? When we are applying that concept of multiplying negatives, negatives and negatives are going to give us plus 2x. Okay. Then 3x minus 3x squared. We are going to call it the like term. These are like terms. These are like terms. So we're going to say 3x squared minus this. We're going to get 2x squared. Then 12x plus 2x. We're going to get plus 14x. Then the last part here, you will see that y has to multiply everything in the bracket. Then we're going to say y times 3y, we're going to get 3y squared. Y times -1, we get -y minus. But now your minus now is multiplying everything in the bracket as well. Minus times 3y, we're going to get minus 3y. Minus times 1, we'll get, when you have minus only, it means just minus 1. Okay. Minus times minus is going to give us plus 1. Then we deal with what we call, we're going to bring down 3y squared. You have no other relationship relative here. Then we get negative y minus y. We are adding the negative 4y, then plus 1. Then our solution ends here. Okay. Then let's move down here. When I given this type of what we call brackets, what you do here, each variable in the first bracket must multiply all the what we call variables in what we call in the second bracket. So what we mean here, we mean that this must multiply this, and also must multiply this. Then 3 also must multiply x. 3 also must multiply what we call 2. Okay. So let's start. X times x, we get x squared. X times 2, we get plus 2x. Then 3 times x, we get plus 3x. Then 3 times 2, we get plus 6. Then what do we have here? We add the 2, these 2 here, x squared plus, what are we going to get there? Plus 5x plus 6. That's what we have here. That's our answer. Let's move on. We have got 3x. This one here, when we are going to do it, when we are doing what we call quadratic equations or factorization, if I can say, you know that when you've got same variable, in other words, let me just write it down here. I'm going to solve it. A minus b, a plus b. We call this difference of two squares. Your answer here should be a squared minus b squared. Okay, that's what you must always remember when we have such, because we are repeating the same variables here. We are adding them, we are subtracting them this side. Okay, let's try to solve this one and see what we get. We're going to say 3x times 3x, we're going to get 9x squared. Then 3x times 2, we're going to get plus 6x. Then negative 2 times 3x, we're going to get minus 6x. Then negative 2 times 2, we're going to get minus 4. Then now what do we get? We get 9x squared minus 6x minus 6x, we're going to get 0. It's going to be minus 4. Can you see what I was talking about? So when we have got this type of questions, you know that this is difference of what 2 squared is. Just take the square of this one minus the square of this one. That's your answer. Okay. But now let's see. What we have here now, we have got in a third part here now. What must we do first? We must deal with this first. So we must open a bigger bracket here, a bigger bracket to show that you still need to work out inside here. Now, what we have here, we're going to have x times x, we're going to get x squared, then x times negative 2, negative 2x, negative 1 times x, we're going to get negative x, negative 1 times 2, we're going to get negative 2, we're going to get plus 2, then we close like that, x, then what do we have here? X squared minus, we're going to get minus 3x plus 2, then x into this, we are multiplying x, everything is multiplied, x is multiplying everything inside here, x times x squared, we get x cubed, then x times negative 3, we're going to get negative 3x squared, x times 2, we're going to get plus 2x. That becomes our final answer. We can't go further than that. Okay, let's see the next part here. Let's just continue and see what kind of questions can you also have. Now, this one here is 2x squared. What does it mean when we have got a square here? It means that we are repeating the same thing. 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. That's what it means. Okay, then it means that we're going to say 2x times 2x, we're going to get 4x squared. 2x times x, we're going to get plus 2x, then this one plus 2x plus 1. Then what do we have? 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. That's what we get then. Then when you check this one, again, you open your big bracket, 3, put your big bracket, x plus 2, x plus 2. Okay, then in this case now, you know that your 3, we want to take it in after you simplify this. Then you have got 3 outside x squared plus what, x times 2, 2x plus 2 times this plus 2x, 2 times 2 plus 4. Then we have got 3, then x squared plus 4x, we are adding the 2 here, plus 4, that's what we get here. 3 times, we're going to get 3x squared. Okay, 3 times 4x plus 12x, 3 times 4, gonna be plus, what is it? Plus 12. That becomes our final answer like that. Okay, then let's check this one here where we are having, what is it? 3 variables here. Now, what are we going to do again? We deal with the first. We deal with these 2 first, x minus 1. Then x minus 1, we put it in what? In the bracket. Then we solve here. We're going to say x squared, then minus 5x plus 2x, then plus minus 10, then x minus 1. What do we have here? We have got, what is it? X squared minus 5 plus 2. We are going to have minus 3x. Okay, when negative is carried by the bigger what you call bigger value, you know that is your answer will be negative. Okay, now when you've got then minus what? Minus 10. Now here now x is going to multiply everything, negative 1 is going to multiply everything as well. So I think we're going to start a bit this side again. So what are we going to do now? X times x, we're going to get x cubed. Then x times negative 3, we're going to get minus 3x squared. Then x times negative 10 minus 10x. Then negative 1 times x squared minus x squared. Negative 1 times negative 3x, we're going to get positive 3x. Negative 1 times negative 10, we're going to get plus 10. Then what are we going to do now? We're going to simplify this now. We have our x cubed, doesn't have a relative. Then negative x squared minus negative x squared, you're going to get negative 4x squared. Then negative 10x plus, it's carried by the bigger part, you're going to get negative 7x. Then you have got, what is it? What do you have any number here? Okay, plus 10. That's your final here. That's our final answer there. Now, let's look into what we call linear equations. Linear equations, okay? When you look at linear equations here you need to find the value of x. So you must, please, for your work, not to confuse you, keep your x on your left. Keep your x on your left so that you don't have much problems. Now, let's take here, we're going to shift the number, our negative here, across this equal sign. Now, another thing that you need to note here is that when a number crosses the equal sign, any variable cross the equal sign, it changes its sign. It must change its sign. So, for example, here, 2x, we have negative 5. When it shifts that side, you are taking like terms here, it's going to change the sign. So it's going to be equal to 11 plus 5. It's no longer negative, it's now plus. Then 11 plus 5, 2x is going to give us 16. Now, we divide both sides by 2 to get rid of 2 here. We divide by 2, we cancel here. X is going to give us 2 into 16, we're going to get 8. That's our value there. Then what about this one now? What must we do? Remember, what do we need to do? Like terms, collect the like terms. We are going to say in this case here, if you move, what is it? If you move negative 2, this side is going to be negative 2x, okay? Then you move 7, that side is going to be negative 10. What is it? Negative plus 7, because your 7 changes the sign there. Then when we have this, we have got negative 2x is equals to negative 3, because the negative is carried by the bigger value. Then we divide both sides by negative 2. We divide by negative 2. Then here it cancels. We are left with x. Then it's going to be equal to negative cancels. Remember, guys, then we get 3 over 2. Now, let's move on this one here. We have got x minus 3 is equal to 3x minus. What must we do? Remember, we bring the like terms, x this side, x minus 3x is equals to, we take the 3, that side is going to be plus 3. Then x minus 3, what do we get? We get minus, what you call minus 2x is going to give you 7 plus 3, it gives you 10. Then you divide by negative 2 by negative 2. Then what do we get? We get x is equals to negative. Because remember what you are having now, you are dividing a positive and a negative. What do we know? Your answer should be always negative. When you have a negative and a positive, when you're dividing, then it's going to be equals to negative 5. That's our answer there. Now let's see the other scenario again. We are having 3x, right? Our 3x. Now 2, we need to deal with the bracket first. Remember, bracket first. It's all board mass. Plus 2x minus 10 is equals to 15. Now, what do we have here? We're going to add the 2 to get 5x is equal to, with 15, it remains there. Your negative 10 goes that side, it's going to be plus 10. Then we have got 5x is equals to 25. Then you divide by 5. You divide by 5. You get x is equals to 5. That's your answer there. Then let's see here now what we have now. We have to deal with the brackets first. Let's deal with the bracket. 3 times 2x, we're going to get 6x. Then minus 3 times 2 over 3. Your 3 and 3 will cancel here. It's going to be equals to minus 2. So what we are saying here is mean that so that we don't get confused here. Times 3, we are saying is times 3 like this. Okay, minus over 1 like this. This is the 3 that we bring here. Then it's going to cancel here. Then what we have, we're going to say minus 7x. Minus, remember, plus 7 is equal to 0. Then 6x minus 7x. Remember, the negative is on the bigger value. So 7 minus 6, we know that is going to give us 1. So we're going to get negative x because negative is there. Then we can shift now the 2. It goes that side. what you call 2 minus 2 plus 7, sorry, minus 2 plus 7 is going to be, what is it, plus 5 is equal to 0. Then you shift the 5 that side, is going to be negative x is going to be equal to negative 5. What do you do now? You divide by negative 1 throughout. So you divide by negative. So just like negative cancels here, then it's going to be, what is it? X is equals to 5. That's our answer there. Okay, then let's move on to the last part there. X squared plus 4 is equals to, we need to expand first here. We need to expand to remove the bracket. How do we remove the bracket now? How do we remove the bracket now? Here. We remove the bracket here. We're going to say x squared, x times 3 is going to be plus 3x. 1 is going to be plus x plus, what is it? Plus 3. Then what do we have here? We have got x squared plus 4 is equals to x squared plus 4x plus 3. Now, can we see what we're having now? Let's deal with the, what is it? Let's deal with the like terms here. X squared minus x squared. Let's bring the x there, plus, minus also 4x is equals to 3 minus 4. Then what do we have here? X cancels here. Minus 4x is equals 3 minus 1. We're going to get minus 1. Okay. Then we divide both sides by negative 4 by negative 4. But remember, your negative cancels. X is going to be equals to 1 over 4. That becomes our final answer then. Okay. Now let's look on the last slide. Last slide is saying 7 over x is equals to 21. How do you deal with this? This year, you deal with that called cross multiplication. You don't need to stress yourself. You cross multiply. You cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, we are saying you are taking the, how do you remove the x here? You multiply by x throughout. So what you are simply doing here, we are saying 7 over x times x is equals to 21 times x. Then x cancels. So 7 is going to be equals to 21x. Now, when you divide here, it means that we're going to divide by 21. We get 7 over 21. It's going to be 1 over 3. So your x is going to be equals to 1 over 3. That's what we have as our answer. Then let's see here what I was talking about. We cross multiply. So we can just simply cross multiply here. It's going to be negative 2x is equals to 4. Then what do we get here? We divide by negative 2. We divide by negative 2. We cancel here. X is going to be, give us, what is it? Negative 2 as well. Because 2 into 4 is 2. Because of our negative, we'll get a negative 2. Then let's check here again. What do? We cross multiply. So cross multiplying, we are taking your 4 that side, your 3 that side. So what must we have here? 4 in bracket x plus 1. Always remember, guys, you put in brackets when you have an expression like this, is equals to 3x minus 1. Then what do we get here? We are going to say 4x plus 4 is equals to 3x minus 3. Then what do we get here? We take the 3x this side. 4x minus 3x is equals to negative 3, negative 4. Then here 4 minus 3, what do we get? We get x. So x is going to be equals to minus 7. That's what we get as our x. Then let's move on here and see the next part here. What do we do? We cross multiply. We cross multiply. So we're going to say 5 in bracket x plus 7, okay, is equal to 15x plus 5. Then what do we do here? We are going to have, what is it? We are going to have 5 times x, we get 5x. 5 times 7, we get 35 plus 35. Then is equal to 15 times 15 times x, 15x plus 75. Then what do we get here? We take our x there, this side. 5 minus x gonna be 5x minus 15. X is gonna be equal to 75 minus 35. Then here now, what do we have? We're gonna get 5 minus x, gonna get negative, what is it? 10x is gonna be equals to 14. Then what do we do now? We're gonna divide both sides by negative 10, both sides by negative 10. Because of our negative here, x is gonna give us negative 4. That becomes our answer. Okay. Now let's check here. What must we do now? When we have something like this, do we need to worry here? Yes, we need to worry. Now, first of all, we need to add these two. That's what we need to do. We need to add these two and see what we get. Now, when we have what we are adding these two, and how do we add these two? We write our common denominator here, which is 3 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have got our 6 here. Now, when we have our 6 here, what do we have here? We're going to say 2 into 3 into 6. We get what? 2 into 6. We get 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 1 is equals to 1 over 6. So as you can see here, we can cross multiply with 6, and this 6 we can get rid of 6. So we can multiply by 6 here, multiply by 6 here, this 6 goes. Okay, so we've got 3x plus 3 plus 2x minus 2 is equal to 1. Okay, then we take the 3x, 3 plus 3 is going to 5x is going to give us, we take 3 minus 2, 3 minus 2, we get 1, and it's going to be, we take 1, that side is going to be 1 minus 1. So it's 3 minus 2, okay, we get 1. All right, then it's going to be 1 minus 1. So our f of x, 5x is going to be equals to 0. Then we divide by 5, we divide by 5, x is going to be equal to 0. That's what we are having here. Now, let's check here. This part here, we have got what? We have got 7 minus 3x. 7 minus 3 minus 3x, 3 over 2x. So we need to deal with the numbers first. Okay, we take the number 7 that side, 3 negative 3 over 2x is going to be equal to 6. 1 minus 7, then negative 3 over 2x should be equals to negative 6. Then what do we do? Remember, we cross multiply with 2x. Then we're going to have negative 3 is going to be equals to 6, negative 6 in brackets 2x. Then what do we get here? Negative 3 is going to be equals to negative 12x. Now, with this negative 12x, we are going to divide by negative 12. Negative 12. Then cancels here. X is going to be equals to, then the negative cancels as well here. Is going to be equals to 1 over 4. That becomes our answer. Okay. Okay, so this is the end of the algebra, introduction to algebra. Until next time, guys, I wish you all the best. Thank you.